Can I just use a real example with SPPG? That's like not super controversial, but still a point of conflict. It was back to the pianist support from, I'm saying it's the same situation. That literally happened, when I was serving at the church, and we're having this conversation, and I was trying to. It wasn't a conflict or anything, but it was more I was sharing because here, okay. So here's what's up. So this side is CM, this side is EM. Okay, CM is going. Wait a minute, these are our children. And we paid for their piano lessons. You know what I mean? And they can play. Why aren't they going? And on the EM side with some of the young people, particularly the ones that were better at speaking Chinese, I suppose, they were kind of tapped on the shoulder. But then Pastor Justin would know this too, because he talked with the same people. In this perspective, they felt that it was burdensome to be a pianist for CM side for several reasons. One, it should be, I suppose a mature Christian would think this is still my church, even though it's CM. It's literally the same church, right? CM and EM. But unfortunately, that wasn't quite the mindset. So they felt like, or at least that wasn't a top priority, which it is in a Chinese believer's priority. I'll elaborate on that in a moment. But at least it was like their friends weren't there, you know what I mean? Not the same age group. They didn't know anybody. So it felt like just a chore. Number two, it took them away from either Sunday school or a meal afterwards. And so it was a burden. And so I was trying to not say one or the other. And I think you were there in those meetings too. We're trying to think, okay. And then we ended up hiring a pianist for CM side. This is basically what happened. Because I guess that was not ideal, but what I was thankful for was the CM side with Pastor Loretta's agreement. They at least agreed to do that instead of fighting and making a big deal. Because I get it, because on a CM side perspective, from a Chinese cultural perspective of Christians, duty is what matters. Like, right? It's my duty. It's my church. I have to do it, right? But from a Western perspective, meaningfulness and joy and connection is what matters, right? I guess authenticity is what matters. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Sometimes it could err towards not caring about the community needs. It could err towards selfishness, the Western radical individualistic mindset. It doesn't have to be, though. I do think that the potential for a Western or EM perspective to be more real, to serve because you want to. I think there's something healthy about that. There's something more sustainable about that in the long run. Here's what I mean. Because I also notice on this side, as seemingly admirable, and it is, to serve even though you don't want to, serve even though it's burdensome, or you're going through life stuff, you're just going to do it. Then I start thinking, then why is it that after the EM side, I'm not talking about SPPG now, but why is it necessarily, but just Chinese churches in general, but why is it that when the EM side grows up and are adults and they can serve, and or the CM side reach a retirement age, they literally retire from ministry. They don't serve. I've done it. Like, if it was so, you know what I mean? Like, if it was like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if God was calling you to that ministry, surely it wouldn't end when you retire.